Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel.
Cool, so we've got a puppet, and we've got this big fall going down there. If we just pull it up a bit like that. So if we jump off of this, then we'll just fall and land on the other one, that's fine. But if it's too high, it will decide that we should have died. And the camera will just stop following it. And we can still move around and stuff, unless we have the default setup. And the camera moves around like with on the X and Z kind of angles, but not up and down. When you make a new puppet, it has the fell out of scene, which is when it thinks you're going to fall too far, and it sends a signal from there, and that is wired into die. So the controller sensor thinks it's dead then, and then sends a signal from is dead, and then respawns itself from that looped wire going around there. So normally it would say nope and respawn. If we want to be able to fall a greater distance, then we can add a global settings gadget and turn on adjust full height so that it will pay attention to this setting, and then we can just whammy it up. And now we can fall 100 meters. We can have a 100-meter drop waiting for us, and it will still let us survive. So let's see what happens. So the camera still follows us and everything. That's fine. We don't respawn. But then what if it's more than 100 meters? We put it down there, which should be more than 100 meters. And now we've got the same problem. And we respawn. So this won't cut it if we have like these huge drops, or if we have some mechanic where we want to go over a large gap. Then even though this isn't actually a lot of fall height, when you're right here, it is a lot of fall height because it's like infinite. There's nothing there to fall onto. So it'll immediately think that we've fallen out of the scene and respawn us. So the way we can get around this is to just trick it into thinking there's something below it to fall onto at all times. So we don't actually need that wire anymore because we'll never fall out of the scene. Yeah, so let's just have a sculpt of some kind, and we will teleport this to the player. So we've actually got this possessed puppet tag, which is at the feet. So if we add a teleporter targeting that tag, possessed puppet, then we can move the gizmo up. I'm going to remove that wire so that it's always on, and then play. And now if you peek inside here, it's there beneath the character. Okay, so you can see it kind of peeking out there, and it will just follow us around no matter where we go. So if we jump off of here now, we still have an object we can collide with beneath our feet, so it still thinks we're not going to fall out of the scene. So it will never kind of trigger that effect on a puppet where the camera stops following and things. So you might want to have like a cool pose that happens when you fall a great distance. So I'll just make a cool pose. Stand by for cool pose. 3-point landing. Something like that. Do. So we can actually find out how much impact we got from landing, which should give us an indication of how far. So it's got predicted landing impact, so we can say if we're going to slam into something, then we can prepare by like making it ragdoll or triggering some like sound effect or something. We're going to try using the landing impact like that, and we'll give it like a slow power down so that it goes into that pose and then slowly comes up. And then it kind of did a bit of a landing thingy, but not much. So I'm going to get a signal manipulator, and then we can see what values it's kind of giving us in test mode. So it's going up to 20, and down to -29. And instead of using just a keyframe, we'll put it in a timeline. So when we land, then it will just go into that pose for a certain amount of time. Let's just say 2 seconds. And we'll put that onto once mode so that it plays from the beginning. Oh yeah, we want this to be threshold, that's the thing, I think. Threshold. Yeah. But we need to like make sure it doesn't happen when you just do a normal jump or something. And you can like fine tune the effects depending on how much you drop. So maybe yeah, and then probably want to turn all the other stuff off, like the other poses, and don't want to be able to move and jump and stuff while this is happening, so let's make that in there. And probably don't want to kind of stumble forwards either, so we can use a mover to stop us moving by having high damping and 0 speed. So this will slow us to that speed. So let's try that. Oh yeah, and the legs are kind of reorganizing themselves, so that's because of procedural animation. So we'll turn that off. Let's try that. Slam. Now you can run around. And then of course you make this object invisible, and you can make it so that it won't collide with anything apart from the player. So the player is friend, and I'll make this not collide with anything but friend, something like that. And now if you have other things that could be moved around by it in the scene, it doesn't matter, they won't be affected, and that's cool.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.